Why this is entitled Houses is for a reason. During the Katie Pancratz and the Haley Pancratz rape, I was a rat. I kicked Ian Holtz off that block, which everybody wants to say I terrorized him. So, therefore, the probation departments and the sheriffs could hook up and say that I was terrorizing a guy for being a sex offender, even though they knew he raped a girl. Well, it wasn't about that. It wasn't about him raping Katie Pancratz at Grant Watts. It wasn't about Haley Pancratz getting raped, the rapist getting off and setting me up. What it was about was because my neighbor, One Eyed Mike, got his house sold at that time. They were trying to sell Katie Pankratz's mom out for rape charges, and they were going to sell Katie and Haley to the conservatorship companies and put them in what you would call transitional housings or group homes. And then they were going to obviously put Ian Holtz in one, sell his mom's house like we did. So now we got two houses sold by a judge and a prosecution office and the police to make up for the investigation that was done in Hillsborough, where Marley died and that girl, someone arrested her, bombing, yada yada, drugged around the school with guns and shit I handled. So what they were doing after that was they were going to go after Mikey Orr. So the reason that the Pankratzes were so was to go after the Orr family, Aunt Hanson Orr, because they knew that they could get Mikey Orr's house. Now, with me preventing all of this shit, they have to come up with excuses and reasons that they didn't do that. Kind of like why I posted in the Gabby Petito murder, where there's a picture. Well, here's Apache Rose Hightower, and here's Cheryl Hart. Have a fucking look on that on my Facebook, because that's what you did. Because Judge Grant thought that as long as she would look good, and Patsy Sattler thought as long as she could look good and make Marsha McDonough or another lawyer look bad, and they hired Scott Baldwin and Aaron Martin with Brejkic to go after Berg for giving me immunity, that they would get my second immunity and that they would have a higher immunity to go after the prosecution office and Ted Grove and the court systems. So this is just one giant elaborate bullshit setup where people thought that I would sell out innocent people, and instead I protected them, and now I get harassed by the state government for it. What do I give a shit? It's called the land fraud scandal. Now, also, what I need Haley and Katie for is called the inheritance scandal, because you guys in conservatorships, they only inherited 25,000 apiece. Unless they get more money, i.e., their mom's under arrest, and they get restitution from the house, you don't get a conservatorship. Kind of like Lindsay Bailey and the courts raping kids and then selling them to Lindsay Bailey. The Jenny L. Clark setup with Chris Peterman, thinking he could do that with Chelsea Clausen, and that a whole community and that his whole court system and judges and prosecutors will stick up for him in Douglas County because it's already set up.